But it's good to see you guys. We've got Kate. We've got Gabe. Welcome to the Fire Den. You know, one of the most important things I feel like we do at LightFair is not look at lights, but talk about them. Talk about this industry. Talk about what's going on. Get lit. Have a fun conversation. Tell us about the L-Prize, like where the idea from that came, what's happening with it today, and a little bit more about how it's been so successful and created this opportunity to maybe marry two industries or two institutional, is an institution the right word? An institution and an industry together.
The L-Prize has actually been around a long time. It was first conceived in some legislation. I think it was the Energy Independence and Security Act of 2007 under President Bush, which laid out this legislation that there would be actually a couple of lighting prizes. And this was around the time that LEDs were just becoming available. And the first prize was to challenge industry to develop the first of its kind LED A-lamp, so a conventional light bulb that would produce the same kind of light quality that incandescent produce, and of course be much more efficient. And there was a $10 million award for it. That prize was won by Philips Lighting North America back in 2011, and there was actually also written into that legislation that there would be a couple of other prizes. One of them would be a prize that was more focused on commercial lighting. Mm-hmm. That actually never got rolled out, and what's happened is in the 10 years that have since passed from when the first L-Prize was awarded, is DOE's taken up a lot more interest in using these prizes to advance technology and solve a problem that the country or the world is facing. So kind of around that, we were given the approval to move forward with a new lighting prize focused on commercial lighting. And this is one of a whole suite of prizes that DOE is offering across all different industries. There's a solar prize, there's actually a prize even about more efficient electric cables, and there's all kinds of things. This prize here, it's a little bit different from the last one. It's not really focused on one particular innovation, like a new A-lamp. What we're after here is really a suite of innovations that would kind of bring it all to commercial lighting. So we're looking for a commercial lighting system and luminaire of the future that's going to be high efficacy, it's going to have exceptional lighting quality, it's going to have exceptional sustainability, life cycle performance, which is kind of a new topic for the lighting industry. It's going to have great connectivity and be able to integrate with a lot of other systems and deliver additional values. And then we're also bringing in an aspect of diversity, equity, and inclusion, and how lighting systems are designed and developed, but also how they're deployed out into the market, so that we can get this new technology not just out to the people that have big budgets and costly office space, but really get it deployed to everybody out there. Mm-hmm. That's what this is about. We've got $12 million.
I was going to say, we're in a land of prizes in Las Vegas right now.
Yeah.
We're talking about a lot of prizes.
Yeah.
It's $12 million. I mean, that's not a small or insignificant amount of money.
Well, the last prize was $10 million, so we kind of stuck with that. And this new prize has a few phases. We've got a prototype phase, a concept phase, and a manufacturing installation. So the big prize is $10 million for the last one, $2 million for prototype, and then 20,000 each, 200,000 I guess total.
Got it.
Yeah.
So there's an opportunity to kind of create that partnership, make sure that money's being spent in a way that not only is obviously effective, but it gives you a way to stay engaged with the recipient of this prize, which is equally as important. This is obviously something that's created by the Department of Energy. What is PNNL doing, and what's your involvement like in giving out these prizes and then watching what people do with it?
We're the technical lead for the prize. We're actually working in partnership with the National Renewable Energy Laboratory, and they are more on the administrative side. They administrate all these prizes for the DOE, and we're kind of involved, and our role is really setting the bar for the innovation that we're looking for, and also developing and managing the evaluation process. When we get these products in, we actually have a team of experts that are going to really kick the tires on these in installation, and we're going to get some winners, and we're going to work really hard to promote this out there and really try to get it deployed.
Keith, tell me a little bit more about what's going on at PNN now. The sustainability initiative is obviously something that is global. It's industry-wide. It's sector-wide. Like everybody is talking about this right now. Tell me what you guys are doing and how that's playing into all these new opportunities, and you can tell us a little bit about how it specifically influences that L-Prize too.
Some of the sustainability work that we're doing now was sort of born out of the work that we did on the L-Prize. So we really wanted to make sure, we wanted to understand better where to push and where to ask for different kinds of criteria that would make an impact. And, in that process, came up against, I think, what everybody's coming up against, in that it's hard to get the information that you need. And so we were doing a lot of research into where, asking questions and looking into what information is out there so that we could try to both educate through the L-Prize, in areas where we see that there can be some impact, and then also, there's some ways that someone participating in the L-Prize can meet certain criteria, but also we're saying, what are you doing, and what are your innovations in sustainability, and what are you seeing that are like your low-hanging fruit for your type of luminaire that you're making. So we're asking questions of the industry, but also trying to show what we've learned through the L-Prize. But it sort of led to this research into life cycle assessment and what are the steps that need to be taken to get to a place where we can ask for data that's meaningful and where manufacturers can, maybe in a streamlined way, get the information that they need to report in a way that's meaningful and comparable and can be, updated on a regular schedule without as many headaches. So we think that it's definitely a new thing for the lighting industry. The lighting industry just hasn't done life cycle assessment. It's very common, right, in a lot of other industries and building materials, and so it's new for the lighting industry, and so we're hoping that the work that we're doing can one, help to streamline that process and also provide guidance. We hope that we can, be a resource and help people get through that process, and also help them share the information in a way that people can understand. So we're kind of looking at it from a lens of how do we optimize this for the lighting industry? Where can we offer tips and suggestions and maybe even specific strategies that help you get through that process as a lighting manufacturer. But there's also like the ACLCA is the American Center for Life Cycle Assessment is doing a sort of across the board look at how to get more open source data into that process and streamline that kind of recipe. So they're looking at it from just their overall comparability point of view. So I think if there's a pathway that works and answers the questions that you have, there's lots of different ways to jump in. There's like labels and declarations, and you can do it. And there's lots of different organizations right now working on making that easier. So I think it's a good time right now to start figuring out what do you think, what are people asking for, or what's critical for your company, and then once you identify that, is it material health? Then there's labels for that. Is it embodied carbon? Then there's labels for that, and there's processes that you can go through to start getting information, and then the best thing is the life cycle assessment. Of course, that takes a lot of effort. So.
What can we do as an industry to make this stuff all really start to happen?
I mean, I'll give a plug to the Greenlight Alliance right now. I mean, they're doing they have an incubator. It's started by Leela Shanker, and it's her sort of brainchild, and it's something that manufacturers can jump in and participate in right now. You can sign an NDA, so no one's going to share your data. Like nobody has to know about it, and they do a kind of a streamlined LCA process where it doesn't. I mean, I think their estimate was it would take basically like 8 man-hours or something to get the kind of the basic data that you need on a light. And of course, it can take a lot longer to get a complete LCA. But what they're doing is they're getting enough information to get an industry average of life cycle assessment of sustainability, and so that's a great process because it gets you information about how to go through that process. It makes you can compare against what the industry is doing, and they want to have this conversation about life cycle assessments, and so I would check that out. They're calling it the LCA incubator, and that's I think that's a cool thing to follow.
No, that's awesome.
Yeah, jump in there.
Do you have anything else to add?
Yeah, maybe.
Go for it.
Yeah, I think we need to work together and get organized.
Yeah.
When you have such a, this kind of looks like a little bit like chaos, and it's really complicated at this point.
My head's spinning right now.
Yeah, exactly. And when you have that kind of situation, people react a lot of times by doing nothing until the dust settles. So I think it's important at this early stage of this that we really work together and try to develop some organized pathways to move forward on this. And I think the project that Kate talked about is part of that. The Green Light Alliance, the work that Kate's leading at P&L, where we're trying to develop. One of the things we're working on is like a standardized template, which we could provide to industry that would list out what data do they need to collect in order to do a life cycle analysis or assessment. And right now, we talk to any individual manufacturer, and they really have no idea. And if they talk to different people, they may get different answers from everybody. But if we can get an industry-wide approach, I think that's going to make this easier for people.
All right, guys. Well, I've enjoyed catching up with you.
Yeah.
It's always nice to learn a little bit more. Thank you for sharing with everyone that gets an opportunity to not only watch this with us right now, but come back and check this out as people get recaps of LightFair. And then, of course, continue to learn thanks to that handy-dandy tool we know as Google. The new L-Prize. No, the L-Prize, period. Again, period.
Better.
Bigger, better, stronger. Yes. And slightly more complicated. No, I'm just kidding.
It's easier. We just split it up. So that's a big innovation that we now have 2 tracks, connected systems and luminaire tracks. So,
that's sweet.
Any luminaire manufacturers out there, it's now simpler for you to enter this thing.
So, obviously, luminaire is luminaire in a connected system that's built more around something that's got a lot of technology integrated into it, or is that control specifically? Like, what's the connected system defined as or for?
It's basically the lighting control system.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's one prize. There's 2 different tracks to apply. So it's very obviously bingo. You guys know how to kind of weigh each scenario equally, but you've split the application process so that people can stay focused in what it is they're applying.
Yeah, I think one of the issues we're facing is this industry has lots of independent luminaire manufacturers that are not necessarily experts in connected lighting systems.
Yeah.
And vice versa. And so we had 1 prize before, and that was a high bar for any one of those companies to meet. So now we've got to reach 1.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for all your hard work. Thanks for catching up with us in the Fire Den. Stay lit, stay awesome. Don't have too much fun, and if you do, come back and tell us all about it. Okay. Sound good?
Thank you.
All right. You guys are awesome.